It's 1 a.m. You're doom scrolling Zillow again. You're looking for the American dream, but all you're finding is a 1970s ranch with a roof that's legally considered a safety hazard, gray vinyl flooring that screams landlord special, and a kitchen that smells like 1998. And the asking price is $500,000. Listing agents have the audacity to call it a starter home. I call it a crime scene. But here is the terrifying part. You are sitting there doing mental math on your salary, wondering if you are the failure. You have a degree, you make good money. Why does a crumbling box of drywall cost 6 times your annual salary? Spoiler alert, it's not you. The math is absolutely brutal, and today we are going to expose it. We're not asking, can you get a loan, because banks will lend money to a hamster if it has a credit score. We're asking, who can actually afford a $500,000 house in 2026 without eating ice cubes for dinner? Let's look at the raw data. In 2026, $500,000 is the new zero. In cities like Phoenix, Tampa, or literally anywhere within commuting distance of a job, $500,000 gets you a 1,200 square foot box with 3 bedrooms and a backyard the size of a yoga mat. The median household income in the U.S. is floating around $84,000. Do the math. We're asking people earning $84,000 to buy an asset that costs 6 times their annual gross income. Historically, that number was 3 times. We have effectively doubled the difficulty setting of capitalism, but your salary didn't get the memo. So, how do you buy this box? The boomer advice says, just put 20% down to avoid insurance. Okay. Let's play that game. 20% of $500,000 is $100,000 cash. The median American savings account has about $8,000 in it. You are not just a little short. You are missing a Tesla and a kidney. And don't tell me, I'll just save for it. If you save 10% of that $84,000 salary, which is aggressive, that's $8,400 a year. It will take you 12 years to save the down payment. By the time you save that $100,000, that $500,000 house will cost $800,000. You are chasing a Ferrari on a bicycle. So you do what everyone else does. You put 5% down, maybe $25,000. Congratulations, you just unlocked a new achievement called PMI. Private mortgage insurance. This is my favorite scam in the financial industry. PMI is insurance you pay for, but it protects the bank if you fail. It's like paying for your bully's lunch money. That's an extra $200 to $400 a month thrown into a fire. It builds zero equity. It is purely a tax on being cash poor. But the down payment is just the cover charge to get into the club. Let's look at the monthly bleeding. You put 5% down. Your loan is $475,000. At a 6.5% interest rate, which is optimistic these days, your principal and interest alone is $3,000. Stop. Most people stop the math here. That is a fatal error. You have to add property taxes, the subscription fee for living in America. Let's call it $500 a month. Homeowners insurance has doubled thanks to climate risk. Add $300, PMI is another $300, and maintenance, the 1% rule says you need to save $416 a month for repairs. Total it up. Your monthly cost to simply exist in this house is roughly $4,500. Now, let's reverse engineer this. Who can actually pay $4,500 a month for shelter? Financial advisors love the 28% rule. You shouldn't spend more than 28% of your gross income on housing. If we follow that rule, to afford this average house, you need to earn $190,000 a year. Let that sink in. You need to be in the top 10% of income earners in the United States just to buy a mediocre starter home responsibly. But the banks don't care about responsible. They use the 43% rule. They will let you drown. Even with their loose math, you still need to earn about $150,000 a year. Only about 15 to 20% of U.S. households make that kind of money. This means 80% of the country is mathematically locked out of the housing market unless they want to ruin their lives. But you might say, Alex, people are still buying houses. How? Meet the Johnsons. This is a fictional couple, but their pain is very real. They are high achievers. 2 working professionals. Combined, they make $160,000 a year. They are upper middle class. They should be crushing it, right? Let's watch their financial funeral. First, $160,000 is a lie. That's gross income. After federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare, and a modest 401k contribution so they don't eat cat food in retirement, their actual take-home pay is about $9,500 a month. Now, subtract the house we just calculated. $9,500 minus $4,500 leaves them with $5,000. Sounds like a lot? It's not. They need 2 cars to get to work. Average payment is $700 each now. That's $1,400. Car insurance and gas, another $500. Student loans, if they make $160,000, they probably have degrees. Let's say $600 a month. Groceries for a family, $800 if they buy generic brands. Utilities, $400. Phones and internet, $200. We are down to $1,100 left. We haven't paid for daycare yet. We haven't bought clothes. We haven't gone to the doctor. One flat tire, one ER visit, or one invitation to a destination wedding, and the Johnsons are putting expenses on a credit card at 25% APR. This is what we call being house poor. On the outside, they have the lawn, the dual income, and the shiny car. On the inside, they are one missed paycheck away from total collapse. They are working jobs they might hate, terrified to quit, because the mortgage eats 50% of their net income. The bank owns the house, the job owns their time, and stress owns their mind. And this is the household making $160,000. Imagine the stress of the household making $100,000 trying to stretch for this same house. The system is designed to get you into the house, not to ensure you can afford to live in it. The bank calculates risk based on will they default immediately, not will they be miserable for 30 years. Here is what that misery actually feels like on a Tuesday. It feels like checking your banking app in the parking lot before you walk into the grocery store. It feels like telling your kid they can't go on the field trip because you might need that $35 if the check engine light comes on. It feels like lying awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling you own, terrified that it might leak. Because if it leaks, you don't have the cash to fix it. You have to finance a roof repair like it's a used Honda Civic. You become a prisoner in your own castle. Every unexpected expense is a crisis. The HVAC breaks, that's $5,000 you don't have. Someone rear-ends you, your deductible is $1,000. You put it on the credit card. You are now paying 25% interest on a car accident. This is not building wealth. This is a poverty simulation with a lawn. Now, take a step back. That was the scenario for a family making $160,000, double the national average. Now imagine what this looks like for the household making the actual median income of $84,000. For them, buying a $500,000 house isn't tight, it isn't stretching, it is financial ruin. It is mathematically impossible without massive external help, or accepting a level of risk that would make a Las Vegas gambler vomit. But here is the truly insidious part, the conspiracy of silence. If this math is so obvious, why didn't anyone stop you? Why didn't the nice lady at the bank say, hey, maybe don't ruin your life? Because nobody in the real estate transaction is paid to protect you. They are paid to close the deal. The seller lists the home at $500,000 because they want money. The real estate agent encourages you to stretch because their commission is a percentage of the sale price. If you buy a cheaper house, they make less money. The mortgage broker gets a bonus for signing the loan. The appraiser gets paid to justify the price. The entire ecosystem is designed to get you to sign the paper. Once the ink is dry, they all get paid and vanish. You are the only one left holding the bag for 30 years. And once you are in, you are trapped. This is not like buying a pair of jeans that don't fit. You can't just return a house. If you realize 6 months later that you are drowning, you can't sell without paying 6% in agent fees and closing costs. You would lose your entire down payment and destroy your credit. So, you stay. You stay in a house you can't afford, working a job you hate because you can't risk a pay gap, slowly watching your soul evaporate. We have rebranded this financial desperation as adulting. We have normalized the struggle. Society tells you, oh, you're house poor? That's just part of the journey. Eat ramen. It builds character. No, it builds anxiety. It builds divorce rates. It builds heart attacks. And then comes the ultimate gaslighting. Renting is throwing money away. You have heard this your whole life. It is the favorite slogan of broke people. Let's look at the math again. If you buy that $500,000 house, in the first 5 years, you will pay roughly $150,000 in mortgage payments. About $120,000 of that goes purely to interest, taxes, and insurance. That money is gone, incinerated. You don't get it back. So you are throwing money away either way. One is called rent, the other is called interest. The difference is, when you rent, if the water heater explodes, it's the landlord's problem, not yours. If the market crashes, you can move. Renting buys you patience. Owning with no margin buys you a prison cell.
Society pressures you. Your parents bought a house at 25, so why can't you? Well, your parents bought a house that cost 2 times their salary, and they paid for it with a summer job. You were buying a house that costs 6 times your salary, with an interest rate that is actively trying to kill you. The game has changed, but the advice hasn't.
So let me give you permission to do something radical. You can choose not to play this game. You can look at a $500,000 house, run the real numbers we just discussed, and decide that it is not worth sacrificing your mental health. You can keep renting. You can save aggressively. You can wait. Real wealth is not owning a house that owns you. Real wealth is having margin in your budget. It is the ability to invest consistently. And to do that, you need a place to park your cash where it actually grows, not sits dead in a standard bank account. I've left a link below to the platform I use to stay liquid and build wealth while I rent. Real wealth is freedom, not equity that you can't touch because you are trapped inside the asset. The financial industry has done an incredible job brainwashing us. They convinced us that home ownership is the only path to adulthood, that buying is always better than renting, that homes always go up. But remember, they are selling you a product. The bank makes money on your 30-year mortgage interest. The real estate agent makes money on the sale price. The insurance company makes money on your fear. Nobody in that equation makes money when you say no thanks. So if you were sitting there right now feeling priced out, feeling like you were failing at some fundamental adult milestone, I need you to understand something. You are not failing. The system has failed you. Home prices have outpaced wage growth so dramatically that what was normal for your parents is now a luxury item for you. A $500,000 house is not a starter home anymore. It is a wealth trap.
Look, I am not telling you to give up on home ownership forever. I am telling you to give up on the delusion. Stop looking at what the bank says you qualify for. That number is a lie. Start looking at what you can genuinely afford. Find the number where you can pay the mortgage, handle the maintenance, save for emergencies, and still occasionally remember what it feels like to enjoy your life. For most people in 2026, that number is nowhere near $500,000. And that is completely fine. You're not less successful because you are being realistic. You're not failing at adulthood because you refuse to financially drown yourself for a granite countertop. You are just doing the math that apparently nobody else wants to do. And to help you run those numbers properly, I built a free Real Affordability Calculator. It's a simple Google sheet that tells you the harsh truth about what you can actually afford. You can download it for free using the link in the description. The housing market will keep pretending these prices make sense. Banks will keep approving loans that shouldn't exist. But you don't have to participate in collective financial insanity just because everyone else is. Sometimes the smartest move in the game is realizing the table is rigged and walking away with your chips in your pocket. Don't let a house ruin your life. Stay smart, stay liquid, and I'll see you in the next one.